Okumura is an ugly down-bad loser who only loves 2D girls until a nerdy otaku girl shows him just how nasty real-life girls can be. He had lost interest in real girls after his mom abandoned him to be with the milkman, and his grade school crush called him a creep for confessing his feelings. Now, Okumura is a dedicated simp who runs a manga club just to watch his favorite 2D waifu, Lilio. However, one day a girl named Verisa walked in and asked to become a member of the club. Okumura's trauma response immediately kicked in, as he wondered what a girl would be doing in a club dedicated to full moons and milk jugs. He decided he had to get rid of her somehow, and his opportunity came when she got excited by the dolls on the shelf. He thought the strippable figurines would get the message across, but the girl proved to be a woman of culture herself by criticizing the color of her panties. She felt the doll would have looked better in something that YouTube won't allow us to discuss. Okumura is torn between kicking her out and finding his cultured soulmate, so Verisa apologizes for being weird and judging other people's tastes in lingerie. Okumura asks how a girl could be interested in the world lawless and harems, so Verisa explains that she's always been messed up in the head from a young age. After seeing how shy she is, Okumura tries to encourage her love for Lilio till Verisa claims no one loves the fictional bombshell more than she does. Okumura scoffs at the idea, so Verisa tells him to try her, explaining that she's used to doing self-inserts into the stories since no boys want to insert themselves inside her. Verisa wishes to be Lilio herself so she can also turn heads and cause tissue shortages at midnight. Okumura can't believe he's actually got competition, however, the girl is just one dimension too many for him. Suddenly, Verisa notices the movie on the screen and begins to fangirl over it. Okumura forgets that he's supposed to kick her out and allows his inner otaku demons to take charge of his body. They end up watching scenes from one of Lilio's movies and screaming when the movie makes them climax. Okumura realizes she's the perfect Lilio fan to join the club, but unfortunately being alive is his deal-breaker. At that moment, Verisa goes red in the face as she asks Okumura for a favor. She explains that she has a weird hobby that she's never shared with anyone, and she's afraid she's a bigger freak than he is. Okumura assures her that if his browser history ever got leaked, the FBI would take him down so he could never judge her for her passions. Okumura is surprised that he's actually encouraging her, but it's too late and Verisa has a suspicious look in her eye. She runs to her bag and brings out her cosplay collections, explaining that she wants to make her very own cosrooms. Okumura screams from shock and asks if she really wants to dress like these, but Verisa reminds him not to judge his own kind. She goes on to explain that her creepy obsession started when she was a kid, but she figured Child Protective Services might arrest her parents, so she kept it secret for a long time. However, when she went to her first in-person event, she saw many other girls like her and realized it was okay for girls to talk about these things too, so she agreed to go back when she entered high school. Now, Verisa is proud of her dress-up kink and hopes to one day make a cosroom with Lilio herself. Okumura apologizes for judging and asks her what she needs help with, so she asks if he'll help take pictures of her when she joins the club. Okumura asks why he has to go through this torture, so she explains that she wouldn't be comfortable with a stranger who might turn out to be a creep, so she'd rather trust the kind of creep she's comfortable with. One who also loves Lilio. When Verisa started high school, she already knew what kind of content she wanted to make, but she never could have guessed she'd find a hopelessly pathetic single loser like him. It must have been fate. Now that all the stars have aligned for her, she asks Okumura if she can join the club, and though he remembers how it's only been a sausage fest so far, he agrees to let her in for the culture. Verisa is excited to hear the news, so Okumura adds that she doesn't have to worry about him since he's only into girls that can't talk back and could never be affected no matter what she wears. Well, it seems Verisa took that personally because as soon as the otaku lord turned around, she started taking off her skirt. Okumura demands to know why she's assaulting his eyes, but she innocently explains that she wants to show in one of her costumes already. The 3D version quickly covers the windows with a board so no one else gets a peek without subscribing on Patreon. However, while he panics, Verisa simply straps on her costume, does her makeup, fixes her hair and walks forward for the reveal. When Okumura turns around, he can't believe it's basically a real-life Lilio, and he even nosebleeds when she says her catchphrase. He manages to get back up, but he knows he's definitely not okay as he didn't expect her to look this much like Lilio. While he's still recovering, Verisa shows him the fresh panties she chose for the costume and asks his opinion. She turns around to show him her full moon and Okumura's virgin soul leaves his body. Later, the loser wakes up on Marisa's lap, who's been worried sick. However, when she mentions her debut photo shoot the next day, Okumura turns into a ketchup bottle once again. The next morning, Okumura enters crisis mode when he wonders if he's falling in love with a real girl after swearing not to cheat on his favorite manga page. Marisa walks in and finds him watching a rare ova she was never able to find. She asks him to give her the rundown, so Okumura happily geeks out for a couple of minutes. When she asks him how she knows so much, he offers to show her how he does his research. They grab some game pads and start gaming away as Okumura thinks he no longer has anything to worry about. Suddenly, Marisa asks if she can pause the game and stops on the part where Liliel's black underwear is in full view. Okumura wonders if she's even more down bad than he is, but she pulls out her phone to take pictures so her cosplay can be as realistic as possible. Her dedication is definitely paying off since Okumura almost jizzed his pants at the sight of her full moon. At that moment, Marisa decides to get into character and starts stripping on the spot. Okumura grabs the board while trying to convince himself that he's simply impressed by her dedication. He turns around and sees her new one piece, that she asks him to take photos of her. After setting up a plain backdrop, Marisa starts posing and Okumura immediately recognizes them from the manga, which makes him tear up. She changes into another outfit, and though Okumura has no idea what he's doing, he's actually having a lot of fun. When Liliel takes a look at the pictures, she's happy with the results and is glad her love for Liliel has come through, while Okumura still finds it surreal that she also loves Liliel this much. Marisa is ready to change back now, so Okumura tries to give her some space tills. She informs him that her zipper is stuck and she needs his help to undress. He quickly tugs at the zipper and looks away before he gets any glimpse of her melons. However, the plot gods strike again when they trip her, and she falls into his arms. She thanks him for catching her, but points out that he also caught a foul ball. Okumura almost has a heart attack as he swears it was an accident. Marisa says it's okay and asks him for some privacy to change, so he gladly gets his bag and runs from the scene of the crime. Once she changes back, she turns red and wonders why her heart is beating so fast. She then runs home quickly to treat whatever brain parasite she might have caught from him. That's it for this video. How long do you think Okumura will remain loyal to Liliel in the face of some real plots? If you want a part 2, comment "I stan the otaku culture." And if you like anime recaps like this, then watch this video over here.